Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are looking at Spider-Man 2099 from the Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse toy line. Alright, so I think this action figure is for the upcoming animated film. It's the sequel of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. If you remember the first movie in the post-credit scene, there's actually a scene featuring Spider-Man 2099. Spider-Man 29 is actually an older comic book character introduced, I think, in the early 90s. I think he was made by writer Peter David, and the first issue was illustrated by, I think, artist Rick Leonardi, I believe. I was back in, I think, like a freshman in high school when the character was first introduced. First off, as you can see, this figure is packaged in an open air box. This is not like the same kind of quality as like a Marvel Legends. You know, this one's clearly a budget toy aimed at kids, and I have no problem with that. I love the budget stuff. I think it's fun. The package design is really neat. They kind of take that aesthetic from the Spider-Verse movies. You know, kind of like with that moire kind of comic book kind of pattern, and it's very fast, very vibrantly colored. And let's see what it says here. Trying to create a new superhero, Miguel O'Hara accidentally turned himself into the best Spider-Man in the multiverse. So I'm not sure when the animated feature is supposed to come out. I'm not sure if it was delayed because of COVID, but either way, we got new action figures out of it. So Spider-Man 2099, as you can see right here, he comes with, you know, the action figure, which looks great. And he comes with his, I guess, recreation of his web shooter. Simple plastic effect. The figure itself, if I had to guess, is probably about, I would say, 6 inches. I think. Let's take a look. Wow, this figure is actually taller than I thought it'd be. This guy stands in at a little under 6 3/4. His design, features a lot more detailing and embellishments than his original appearance in the comic book. You know, in the comic books, his costume never looked this high tech, or at least his initial appearance in the early 90s. So here's an up-close shot of Spider-Man 2099. You know, for a budget toy, you know, there's a lot of sculpting and detail going on, especially in his chest. You can see all the circuitry. It almost resembles kind of like a motherboard on a computer with all the different circuits and nodes. Nice panel lining on the back. It kind of recreates that spider on the back of his costume, and then the webbings that kind of go around. Let's take a closer look at his head. Very different eye and mask design compared to like the original version of Spider-Man, as you can see. He kind of has like the peaked horns over the goggle frames. That's something very reminiscent of some of the different iterations of Spider-Man, depending on the illustrator who drew him. You know, like I believe Todd McFarlane and artist Eric Larson, you know, they always kind of added those little tips on the top of the goggle frames. The opening of the eyes and the mask here almost kind of reminds me of Magneto, the X-Men villain or hero, depending on how you view him. He has these larger, kind of like fins protruding from his forearms. It's kind of like almost reminiscent of Batman. These are a softer, rubbery plastic, so you don't have to worry about them snapping off. And then his hands, he has one open palm. It's a really big hand. And then he has a closed fist on the other. His head looks really, really small in proportion to his arms. And as you'll notice, the articulation on this guy looks pretty limited. But, you know, that's to be expected. It's a budget action figure. It's aimed much more at kids than it is collectors. All right, speaking of articulation, let's take a look at how he moves. All right, so his head, just clearly rotates left and right. It feels like it's on a ball joint, so it kind of tips up and down just a little bit, not a whole lot. His arms rotate, and then as you notice, they also go outward. There's a articulated elbow, so its elbow bends. I want to say, yeah, there's elbow swivel, which is nice. There is no wrist articulation whatsoever. There is no articulation in his torso or in his waist. And then his legs appear to be very static, with the exception of being able to kick forward. And then no ankle articulation and no knee articulation. So yeah, it's very basic in every sense. It's almost a 5-point articulated action figure, but with the addition of the movements going out and then the elbows. As we saw earlier, he comes with this web shooter accessory, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It just clips around his wrist like this, and then you can recreate him shooting his web or whatever this is supposed to be. So yeah, really cool action figure. If you have little ones, I think it's a great, toy for them to play with. It doesn't feature too many accessories. It feels like a softer rubbery plastic, as you can see right here. So it's made to be durable. And it's nice that Hasbro kind of has this dedicated line of like budget Spider-Man action figures, for example. There's stuff like this. This kind of falls in line with this toy line right here. If you haven't checked out the video on this, go in my back catalog of videos. I love this thing a lot. It's a great, affordable 2-pack, and you get 2 heavy hitter characters. You get this nice bulky Venom and a very, universal, iconic Spider-Man. And for me, it's just so fun that they're making all these different, Spider-Man characters in the budget line. So it's awesome. So how would I rate this on a scale of 1 to 10? Judging on what it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be a budget toy, and it's clearly aimed at kids. For me, this is an easy 10. If you're a serious collector, this might be an easy pass for you. But if you have little ones who are really into Spider-Man, I think this is a perfect 10. It's nice. It's large. It features a very simple play accessory. It's articulated, and it's really well detailed for what it is. And I have a feeling that once the movie comes out, people are going to have much more of an attachment to this character. I kind of have an attachment to this character just because this is a character I kind of grew up with when I was much younger. And for me, being at this point in my life, it's really exciting to see this character getting a much broader exposure to like mainstream, media. It's kind of cool that they took, Spider-Man 2099 and put him in an animated feature. So, great action figure overall. I think it's well worth the purchase. All right, so let's wrap this video up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. So, until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I will see you at the next one. All right, I'll talk to you later.